What's up, Attack MMA? I'm your host, Zach Weicker, and today we got a very special guest. He's a professional fighter with a 5-1 record and he's fighting at LFA and LFA 170 on October 27th. Please welcome Isaac Thomson. Isaac, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. And before we talk about the fight, I kind of like to give the fans a way to get to know you and know your background. So, how and when did you originally get into MMA?
So I was about 8 years old when I started. My parents wanted to get me into some martial arts. I also wanted to get into boxing, and they just threw me into this little dojo down in the outback of Australia. And yeah, it's a long story after that.
And then you just mentioned that your parents got you into it. So, how
Mhm.
inspirational were your parents for you in this journey of MMA?
Oh, they're a major inspiration. They're a very, very big part of my career and obviously my life, but. Yeah, my mom used to fight, so watching her grow up, fighting and um, winning, knocking girls out and stuff. Yeah, it was a big inspiration to start fighting.
Definitely, that's great, man. And you mentioned that you started when you're 8, right?
Yep, yeah, 8 years old.
So how would you say competing at such a young age has transformed you into the fighter you are today and the person you are today?
Um, I feel like it put me levels ahead of guys. I've been competing my whole life. I actually had my first competition when I was 8 years old as well. So and 13 years of competition. I've only had 1 year off of non-competing, and man, I feel like I'm just like levels ahead a lot of the guys now.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I was looking at your stuff and you have a lot of accomplishments. You've achieved a lot in your time in the sport. So is there a certain accomplishment of yours that stands out compared to the others?
Uh all my probably my last fight, honestly. It I proved to myself that I'm a lot better than I thought I was. Um yeah, so I think my last
Yeah,
fight
so
was a
I think
really
my
good
last.
one.
You just said that you proved to yourself that you thought you're a lot better than you thought you were. So
Hmm.
why did you not feel like you're at that certain stage yet? And what from that performance showed you that, yeah, I'm really this good. I'm that type of fighter that you think you are now.
Uh man, and
Man,
the gym I'm at, I'm getting my ass kicked every day. So it's nice to be able to just go in, show all my moves and be able to kick a guy's ass. It's and not have to get my ass handed to me.
and then I know that you are from Australia. So what was the move like from you from Australia to the United States?
Oh, man, I've been in and out of America since I was 14. Moving over here full time is it's hard being away from family, but honestly, I love it over here, man. It has changed my MMA skills like tenfold. I wouldn't be the fighter I am if I'm back home.
Yeah. And I know that you're here, but looking at Australian MMA now, there's a lot of top guys out there
Mhm.
doing the
No,
top
100%.
level stuff in the UFC, like Volkanovski, Whitaker. So, what is it like to see Australian MMA be a mainstay in the UFC?
I love it. I love seeing the Aussie guys win, man. Like I'm still repping my country. I have to. But yeah, we got to keep the run going for sure.
Yeah, and you're not in Australia, but you are at Team Alpha Male. So, what has your experience been like there, and what are your relationships like with your coaches and training partners?
I feel like it's like my second home. I have so many great training partners. Um, I'm getting my ass whooped all the time, so it's good. And yeah, man, like Uriah Faber, he's a great person, man. He's always helping out, and yeah, it's the best gym. I honestly think it's a really good gym for my size people and around the world. It's just the best.
And you just mentioned Uriah Faber. So,
Mhm.
is there any lesson that he taught you that stuck out to you, or just anything special from your time with him?
Yeah, enjoy the journey. Um, Never giving up and then just enjoy the journey. Another one was being comfortable, being uncomfortable. That was a big one for me, you know.
Definitely, man. And on Team Alpha Male, there's a lot of guys around your weight that are the
Mhm.
lightweight. So, what is it like for you to train with all these top level guys and get different looks from all these different guys at 135, 145 at the gym?
Oh, it's amazing. I've been to a lot of gyms, especially in America, around Australia, England as well. I've been around a lot of gyms, and not none of them have had this variety and this amount of guys my size. And oh man, it's the best. I'm super grateful to be here.
Awesome, man. And to kind of give the fans a little more perspective on you, how would you describe yourself and your fighting style to anyone who has not seen you fight before?
I'm a hybrid, man. I every time I walk out, I tell them I'm a hybrid fighter. I can go anywhere, standing, on the ground. I can wrestle now. Yeah, I feel like I'm just the all-round MMA fighter.
Yeah, that's great, man. And you're an all-around MMA fighter, as we've seen before, and you're only 21, and you have a very impressive resume for only being 21. So, did you
Thank you.
expect to be at such a high stature for such a young age in the sport?
Yeah, the goals were to be a little bit higher up than what I am now, like in the UFC, a little bit younger, but this MMA journey is it's a marathon and not a sprint, and I've learned that growing up now. And but no, yeah.
Definitely, man. And for this fight, you'll be fighting A.J. Robb. So,
Yeah.
what do you know about your opponent, and what do you like about his fighting style and his strengths?
I watched a little bit of footage on him. He's a short, stocky guy. He has a lot of forward pressure. Uh, this would be really good for me. I haven't really fought a fighter that has a lot of forward pressure, so it'll be good to get a look. And then if I get to the UFC and I go against a guy that has a lot of forward pressure, this will be a good test for me. Um, I feel like he's gonna wrestle. Uh, he has heavy hands as well, but so I think it'll be a good test.
Yeah. And you mentioned that likes go be forward. He likes to wrestle.
Mhm.
So, with that in mind, stylistically, how do you see his fight panning out?
I feel like I'm just gonna keep sticking in with my jab. Keeping him at distance. I'm not gonna let him come in too close. I feel like a second or third round knockout TKO.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
And are you someone that looks for the finish, or would you say that you're kind of just if the finish is there, then it's there, and it doesn't really matter too much if you get it or not?
I'm always looking for a finish. Obviously I don't want to force the finish. Like it'll come when it comes.
Yeah. And now, if I'm not mistaken, this will be your third fight at LFA. So,
Mhm.
how's your whole experience been with the promotion?
I love the LFA, man. I feel like I'm in the UFC. They treat their fighters amazingly, and they're super professional. Yeah, they're amazing.
Definitely, man. And on the LFA, I know you had a contract with them. How many is this the end of the contract, or do you have any more fights with them after this fight?
Yeah, I have one more fight after this one, and that'll conclude my 3-fight contract.
Definitely, man. And on this fight, how's your training camp been? I know we said is that Team Alpha Male. So, how's
Mhm.
the whole training camp process been for this fight?
Really good. I've stepped my training up. I'm going out into Tahoe and getting some elevation training every week just to get a feel of what it's like to fight in elevation. That was probably the biggest thing I switched in my training camp was just going up into the mountains, hitting runs, hitting workouts up in the elevation.
Definitely, man. Very smart. And on training camp, it can be a very stressful time, and you don't
Mhm.
really get too much free time. So, when you do get that free time, what are your go-to things to do?
And weekends are usually my only free day, but I'm either out in the mountains training, hitting the river, uh, going on hikes. I love to go out and just get away from all the technology and stuff, disconnecting up in the mountains. That or I'm playing video games. I love video
What are your
games.
go-to video games?
I love playing Call of Duty. A lot of COD.
Very nice. Were you playing COD since you were a kid? Or have you always
Oh,
been a video game guy?
yeah, I've probably put more hours into COD than I have martial arts. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah.
That's great, man. And now after this fight, what are you looking for in your next fight? And when would you like to get back in the cage?
And after this one, I do want to get a quick turnaround. I'm hoping I finish this guy and then they have a LFA fight in Vegas. If I can get a fight over there, or I go straight to contender, or if I can get a contract in the UFC, it's one of those. I want to get a quick turnaround though.
Yeah. And I know the
Yeah.
Contender Series is now just over, and the next time it
Yeah.
will be in a year.
Hmm.
So is that the goal to go in the Contender Series next year?
Any chance I can get to the UFC, I'll take it. Look, if I have to go to the contender, I have to go to contender. I would prefer to just go straight in. But beggars can't be choosers. As long as I can get my shot.
Yeah. And nowadays with the UFC, it's basically just contender series or
Mhm.
a late notice fight. So would you be
Mhm.
fine if it was a late notice fight to get yourself a shot in the UFC?
100%. I feel like I'm at the level as a UFC fighter, and I'm growing every week. So yeah, I could take a 1 week fight and get in the UFC. I've taken 2 week fights. I've taken short notice. It's nothing new.
Pretty sure, was it last year or that you had fights 4 weeks apart,
It was this year.
right?
Yeah, it was
This year, wow.
for 1 week. Like 2 weeks later, I had another fight. And yeah.
I mean, weight cut wise and just preparation wise, is that hard for you having such short notice between fights, or did it all go smooth and plan?
No, it goes super smooth. I only stay about what is it, 15 pounds away from my weight division. Yeah, I'm not too heavy. I like to stay around pretty close to my weight division. So my weight cuts are super easily.
Yeah. Then a lot of times, I know a lot of fighters have diets to make sure they have a good weight and to make the whole
Mhm.
weight cut process go nice and smooth. So, what is your diet like?
Um, I stick to a pretty strict diet. I have a nutritionist that helps me. I'm still eating 4, 5 times a day, plus snacks and shakes and stuff. So, uh, yeah, I'm not really putting on
Great,
too much
man.
weight, but I'm eating a lot,
Yeah.
which is good.
And then if we don't get that contender series fight next, would LFA championship be interesting for you?
Oh, 100%. I asked for the belt, but their champ right now is going to the contender. So yeah, I'll have to
Maybe
wait.
a vacant title shot.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love that.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the UFC is the goal, but say if you got an
Mhm.
offer from Bellator or PFL or one of these other major promotions, would that be interest you as well?
I think it would depend on the money. Um, Obviously you got to make your money in this. Like, yeah, you want to be UFC champ, Bellator champ. I feel like it would just depend on who's paying more. Like, yeah, I'd probably take the opportunity for sure. Like, you're not going to put down a Bellator shot or a PFL shot, but the main goal is to get to the UFC though. And I see
Yeah.
myself going to the UFC.
Would you say you've been a UFC fan your whole life? Were you like watching UFC when you were a kid and stuff?
No. I I didn't really watch fights until like a couple years ago. Growing up I did watch a lot of UFC fights, but I wasn't like a massive
Yeah.
UFC fan. I was kind of just martial artist, man. I'm just always competing. It's a little different when you grow up, growing up doing it.
That's great, man. And of course, being in the UFC would be huge. So, how much would that mean for you to be a UFC fighter?
Yeah, it would be my lifelong dream just to be there, let alone getting to the top. Um, it would mean the world to me.
Yeah. And with the UFC, you get to travel a lot of places. So, is there any
Mhm.
certain destination that you'd like to travel to?
I want to go fight back home. I haven't fought home since I was about 14. Man, yeah, my dream honestly would be to get a fight in the UFC back home. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Now the UFC is going there 2 times a year, so
I
definitely a
know.
real possibility.
Yeah, we got to keep Volk as
Yeah.
champ, so they keep going there.
Yeah. So, of course, that's a dream venue, but is there any dream opponents that you would like to fight?
um, Sanhagen would be cool. I think that would be a really, really cool fight. We both kind of have similar styles, which both like to stay long, use elbows. That'd be yeah. I think Sanhagen would be pretty cool fight.
Yeah, for sure, man. And my final question for you is, I know you're 21, and I know you got a long journey ahead of you, but
Mhm.
when your career is all said and done, how do you want to be remembered in the sport?
Um, Kind of like a GSP style. I want to be loved. Obviously, you're gonna get hate, but I want to be loved and I want to be remembered. I don't want to just get into the UFC and then be forgotten or just be known as one of those UFC fighters. I want to be remembered, like be loved and like, oh, that was a good fighter.
Definitely, man. Is there anything you want to shout out or plug before we head out of here?
Uh, yeah, my Instagram. It's Isaac T MMA. Isaac Thomson MMA. Sorry. Other than that, yeah,
Awesome, man. Isaac, it's been a pleasure having you. I wish you the
it was
best
a
of luck
pleasure.
in your
Thank you.
next fight. Folks, that'll be all for today. Until next time. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. The future's all yours, really, man.
Yeah.
You're very
Appreciate this,
talented, man.
man. Thank you.
Of course,
Thank you.
man. Have a good one, okay?
Yeah. Have a good one.
Okay. Peace.
Bye.